Camp Summit. It's Nurse Lulu with Camp Summit at Home. I've rearranged my kitchen a little bit to try to do this video. So today we're going to do something a little bit more intricate. We'll use some more fine motor skills. You'll probably need some help with this one if you usually get help cooking in the kitchen, or if you get any help with knives or scissors, definitely need help with this one. So make sure that you have help handy, ready with you. Also, you'll be working with the stovetop a lot, so if you usually get help with hot surfaces like that, get help. You know, just like we do at camp when we used to have cookout, or now when we do outdoor cooking, when your counselor's there with you, sitting with you by the campfire, helping you hand over hand cut things. If you usually get that kind of help, then definitely have that kind of help at home today for this. All right, so today we are making chili. It's a vegetarian chili because I know some of you have some special diets. I have a special diet, so it's a vegan chili actually. Of course, gluten-free, casein-free, no red dyes, anything like that. I'm making mine with sweet potato, but you could do yours with regular potato. You could add a meat if you wanted to, or a meat substitute. I'm not doing that for mine. I'm just doing lots of delicious vegetables and spices. So before this video, I scrubbed my sweet potatoes and put them in the oven. I put them in at 425 degrees Fahrenheit, and they were in for about 45 minutes. Now, if your oven's a little bit more efficient, you might only need 40 minutes. You might need 50 minutes. Just make sure that when you're done, that when you very carefully check the potato, that your fork goes in easily and comes out easily. And then you'll know that it's nice and done and ready to be cut open and filled with chili. For the chili itself, I'm using tomato, onion, garlic, a couple of pieces of celery, a couple of carrots, a red bell pepper, a green bell pepper, about 2 to 3 cups of beans, and then 2 cups of a broth, a vegetable broth. And then of course we've got chili powder, paprika, cumin, and some oregano, and a bay leaf. And I like jalapeno. I like my stuff a little bit spicier, so I'm adding jalapeno also. But those are the basic vegetables and spices that I'm using. And to cook things off to start with, I'll be using olive oil. So I've diced and minced all my stuff up already to make this demonstration a little bit easier. You can do that if you want to, or you can do it as you go. The first thing that you're gonna need is the onion and the garlic. So I'll get that started. We're gonna put this on medium heat. You need about 2 tablespoons of your vegetable oil. Like I said, I'm using olive oil. And I did 1 whole onion. If you like red onions, yellow onions, white onions, whatever you prefer, you can do that. I had a nice big white onion, so that's what I did. So this is my chopped onion as well as my minced garlic. So when people say chopped, they mean that it's cut up kind of small, you know, about half an inch, maybe, little squares. Diced is a little bit smaller than that, and then minced is teeny tiny. So some people will buy their garlic pre-minced in the store. That's perfectly fine. If you want to do yours yourself, you can do that too. I like to kind of flatten my garlic cloves out, and then mince them, which chop them really fine. I've used 4 garlic cloves for this, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, like I said, 1 big onion. So if you've ever done cooking like this before, you've probably noticed that the onions and or the garlic go first, and maybe you've wondered why that is. The onions especially get a lot sweeter. The longer time they have to cook on a lower heat, the sweeter they taste in the dish. So it's just really nice to have that sweeter flavor. Garlic also, it doesn't really get sweeter, but it tastes less bitter. It's a little bit less spicy to the tongue. if you let it cook a little bit first. So I'm letting this cook until the onions look what's called translucent, which means you can see through them a little bit. Instead of being a white or a red color, they're a lighter version of that, and you can kind of start to see through them. So that's that part. While that's going, I'll just tell you guys, you can use canned tomato for this. That's perfectly fine. I would say use the big 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes, or you can do about 3 cups of your own diced tomato, whatever you have at home. If you want to do fresh, you can do fresh. And then the beans, I'm using black beans because that's what I had on hand, but you could also do kidney beans, you could do pinto beans, you do some of each of those, whatever works best for you. Again, you can do canned, or you can do the fresh beans like I'm doing. I guess rehydrated is the way to say that. They used to be dry, and then I put water in them, and now they're ready to cook, right? Then I like red bell pepper, but you could do orange or yellow. It's really your preference and what you have at home. Again, it was 2 medium-sized carrots and 2 long pieces of celery. And then for the spices, it's 2 tablespoons, so the big one, tablespoon of chili powder, 2 teaspoons, the smaller one, of cumin, and then 1.5 teaspoons, the smaller one again, of paprika, and 1 teaspoon of oregano, dried oregano. If you wanted to use dried garlic instead of the fresh garlic, you could do that also. I just really like the smell and the taste of fresh garlic, but again, you could do dry. So the onions on the bottom are starting to get that nice translucent color. But I'll give it just another minute because there's a lot of onion. We like onion here. And then the vegetable broth, you can use any kind of broth that works for you or that you have at home. You could also do just plain water if you wanted to. You don't have to do a broth. I just like broth. I think it brings a nice flavor to everything. And then the bay leaf, make sure that you don't eat that at the end. It's not tasty, but it is nice to have in the chili while it cooks. And I would love to hear any kind of chili recipes you guys have. I've tried lots of different chili recipes, especially since I went vegan. I've tried chili with sweet potatoes in it, with other kind of squash in it, really spicy, multiple bean chilies, just all kinds of things. So I would love to hear what your chili recipes are. I'm sure some of you have some really great ones, especially from when we used to do chili cook-off. So please share your chili cook-off recipes if you have any. As you know, hashtag Camp Summit at Home, tag us on Facebook, tag us on Instagram, or you can email it to camp@campsummittx.org. Either way, your recipes, your pictures, anything you have, we would love to see it. We would love to share it with the rest of the Camp Summit family. It's really fun to be able to share things and see what everybody else likes to do. Okay, so that looks pretty well started. Now I'm pretty much going to add all of my other vegetables, and then the broth and the spices, pretty much all together. It's a really great time. I like adding my thicker vegetables earlier, you know, the ones that take longer to cook, just so that they're down there on the bottom. But really, since it's chili and everything's going to go in together and simmer together for a long time, it doesn't make too much of a difference how you add things in here. You'll notice my bay leaf is in here also, so it's going in. So we've got the carrot, the celery, both of the bell peppers, the beans. Let's get the tomato. The one thing that I try to make sure I do last is all of my spices. not just in chili, but in a lot of things. You don't want your spice down on the bottom of everything where it might start to burn. It's not tasty. So there's all my broth. And I might actually add some more because I have so many vegetables. And then I'll just sprinkle in all of my spices that I already poured together. Make sure they all get out because they're delicious. And then I'll give this a good stir. Oh yeah, there's a lot of broth there. So when you leave something to simmer, which you do with a chili or a soup, anything that's going to be in for a while, that basically means that it's going to cook a long time at a lower heat. It's not going to be at high heat where it's boiling and you see the water kind of boiling up. It's a long time at a nice low heat so that everything gets to combine really nicely together. So I'm gonna let this sit and simmer for a while and then check back in with you guys. Hi Camp Summit! So it's been about 30 to 40 minutes. This is what simmering looks like, if you can see this. It's just very gentle. Now when I look at the chili, I can take some of the vegetables and kind of smush them against the side, and they just smush really easily. So I know that they're ready to go. So I'm gonna turn this off. It smells amazing, I wish you could smell it. I'm gonna make sure that my bay leaf comes out because we don't want to eat that. You can see I pulled out my sweet potatoes, I cut them in half. Again, I'm using sweet potatoes because they're a good source of vitamin A and fiber. Really good for you, for your eyes, your immune system. But you can use whatever you like. And then you can also top it with whatever you like. So I've got some lactose-free cheddar here, but you could also do avocado, that's delicious. Cilantro, really anything. A lot of people do sour cream. So whatever you like, get it ready. Should be good to go. Make sure that I washed my hands before this video, but make sure that anytime you take a break from cooking, when you come back to it, you wash your hands for at least 20 seconds. And then when you're done preparing your food, before you eat it, you wash your hands again for at least 20 seconds. Gotta be healthy and safe. Again, I would love to see what you guys make at home. If you have any other chili recipes you think we should try out, love to see those too. All right, hope you've enjoyed this. Enjoy the meal. Bye guys.